Welcome to a new episode of the Cigar Snob Podcast. And now here are your hosts, Eric Calvino, Ivan Ocampo, and Jim Rodriguez.
Indeed, indeed. The good times continue on the Cigar Snob Magazine podcast. What's going on, everybody, with my guys? Ivan Ocampo, Eric Calvino. I am merely Jim Rodriguez for another smoky treat session. What's going on, boys?
What's happening, Jimmy?
You know me, living the fake life, you know.
What's fake about
Well,
it?
yeah, what are you talking about?
Listen, everything on me is fake except for my love and affection for you and the good folks
Oh boy, here
that
it comes.
listen to this show.
He's laying it on thick right out of the gate.
He's getting all lathered up.
You know what that means? Hey, is there any way I can hold $20 till next show? You know?
Yo, can I hold 20? So yeah, you came in rocking
Well,
big time watch,
Oh.
fountain pen.
Can we not talk about attire today? We're wearing the same tacky golf shirt
We are.
in an inverse color.
Well, you guys are the Sunday swagger kind of guys. You know, going out there on the golf course and stuff. I'm a man of the people, man. I got my Woo Pig Arkansas, hoodie on. So
John Daly style.
that's it. Yeah, the most famous alumni from University of Arkansas.
Whoa, hang on a second. Most famous?
No, I don't know.
I mean,
We need a fact checker on this show.
It's John Daly,
John Daly. We got Jimmy Johnson.
How about them hogs?
How about them hogs? We got
Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones. That's right, Jerry Jones. But you got Henry Ford, dude. Henry Ford is kind of tough to beat.
I prefer my benefactor at Disney. The guy who signs my paychecks is Mr. Fernando Barbosa. He's a University of Arkansas. Right?
He's a Razorback. All right,
So-
all right. Shout out to Fernando.
Shout out.
A Woo Pig indeed, yes.
Okay.
And all the good folks at ESPN Knockout. So listen, we've got some knockout stuff going on. Great smoky treat. We're gonna drink something that Frank Sinatra would be, dare I say, jealous
Blue
that
eyes.
we're drinking tonight. And of course, we're gonna talk to our buddy from Villiger Cigars, Rene Castañeda.
We like to throw in the ñ, and it's Rene Castañeda.
Yeah.
Well, it all depends.
Yeah.
It all depends what part of the street you're
Listen,
on.
as a guy with an ñ in his name,
Oh.
I
All I gotta
gotta
say,
side with my ñ buddy.
here's the thing about the N, and that's the N with the little squiggly line on it.
Yeah.
If you ever wish somebody Happy New Year in an email or any sort of written documentation, please put the squiggly line over that N because you don't want to say Feliz Año Nuevo. That's all I'm going to say.
That's a good lesson. That's a good pro tip.
Happy new ass, everyone. Happy, with a little.
That's a good pro tip.
Or if that's maybe your thing, you want to wish somebody a Feliz Año Nuevo. I don't know.
Maybe you're a plastic surgeon,
You
and you
know.
just want to wish someone a new.
How's that new ano in the new año? Rene Castañeda.
We have
you
lost
go.
our way right
Right out of the
right
gate.
from the
Listen.
start.
All right, so what do we got, Eric Calvino?
Oh, thank you so much. That makes me feel so much better. We are smoking the Villiger de Nicaragua. This is a limited edition. So, Villiger de Nicaragua Edicion Limitada 2022. So, this is a limited edition made at their new factory. They recently opened the new factory right next door to Joya de Nicaragua.
Mhm.
And so they started producing this cigar out of there, and we rated it for the upcoming issue, and I think it's fantastic. So we decided to smoke it today. It's a 6x52 torpedo. Again, obviously made it in Nicaragua. Wrapper is Ecuadorian Sumatra with a Mexican binder and Nicaraguan and Pennsylvania fillers. Has an MSRP of $15, and I think it's available at all Villiger retailers throughout the country. But again, it is limited. So if you like what you hear today, you probably want to go out and check it out. So what do you guys think about it, right from the start here? I just lit mine a moment ago.
I'm getting some really interesting flavors. As usual, I take some notes as I'm smoking.
Mhm.
And what I'm getting is like a licorice flavor and like dates from it.
Wow.
It's a very,
You're getting dates out of this?
Yeah.
It's like a singles.
Yeah,
it's
it's
like a
like a
single cigar.
Match.com.
Yeah.
Mira, talk about
It's
a
like
smoky.
Tinder.
Talk about a smoky treat.
Yeah, it's the Tinder of cigars. But
I'll puff
Hopefully
to the
she-
left or puff to the right.
Hopefully she doesn't have the squiggly line over the top.
Or
okay.
Or-
So anyway, no, but those
Isn't
are great.
it very unique, right?
It is. It does have some unique flavor notes. I think, but you went straight in deep.
Right into the flavor.
Yeah,
Notes. I usually
whereas I think
like the appearance right off the bat is very elegant.
no. I
Very
mean,
nice.
you went deep into the flavor notes, right? Because there's some there's some surface notes that are kind of right in your face right from the start, right? There's some earthiness, there's some pepper to it, there's some dark chocolate. You went that next level down.
Because I was looking for that one flavor that was sticking out to me. I'm like, what is that? What is it? And that's what there's definitely other stuff there.
Yeah, there's a lot though. There's a lot of, it's got a flavor intensity that maybe we're not used to with a lot of Villiger products, right? Because this is tons of flavor right up front. So like I said, that earthiness, the pepper, there's dark chocolate, there's definitely like a roasted nut, like kind of like over roasted nut, right? Maybe some charred barrel. It's a really nice smoke. I'm enjoying it. What about you, Jimmy?
Yeah, well, the first thing that got me was the color of the wrapper. It's a Maduro kind of.
It is, and you know what? Not a good point, because it is an Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper that's quite dark and naturally dark. It's not. You can tell it's not artificially darkened. You know, sometimes you see those when a cigar is jet black, looking kind of purple. Like that's not a natural color that tobacco can get.
It's not going through a midlife crisis.
Yeah. So this is a really nice, even colored, dark reddish brown, with a box press. It's a beautifully produced cigar. But what about the flavors? What are you getting, Jim?
The first thing that jumped out at me is the chocolate. It's a very like rich chocolate, you know, kind of almost like a decadent dessert kind of thing, like a double fudge chocolate cake that you would get at the end of the meal. I mean, it is. It's definitely not a breakfast cigar. It's not. This is an end of the night or with a nice cocktail, which we will be enjoying later on, of course.
Yep.
It's a handful. It's full. It's full bodied for me. It's good. It's good, but it's, you know, great power comes great responsibility with this thing.
Very true. Now for experienced smokers, I wouldn't call it full body.
Okay. Yeah, I find it less than that.
Yeah, it is intensely flavored. I would say it's full flavor.
Full flavor.
Okay.
But not full strength.
Okay.
Right? I would say that it's probably just above medium in terms of strength.
But it is, but the flavor is just bursting.
So do me a favor, Jimmy. So, you know, we're always trying to teach a little. So what about, can you retrohale it?
Mm-hmm.
Let me know how much does it hurt you going through there?
It's there's a little bit of a burn, but you know what? It's positive because there's no more extraneous hairs now. But no,
but it shouldn't make you cry. Right? I mean, it went through there without, like, you didn't even squint. No. You didn't wince. It didn't hurt you.
It's fine. It's fine.
So that you can use that as a rough gauge for the cigar's like true strength. You can use that. It's not 100%, but it's pretty good.
So what you're saying is if you are having issues retrohaling, then that's when you start saying it's full,
when
it
goes through your nostrils and you feel it burn. And you, like, there's that one singular tear coming down, you know? You're like, you hurt me, you know? Then
don't look at me, little puppet.
Yeah,
don't look at me.
Then that means that there's probably a ton of strength in there. But this thing goes through and it just leaves like a really nice coating of chocolatey, peppery notes in there.
It's creamy. It's smooth.
It's very nicely done. I'm telling you, actually Ivan too. We smoked this cigar blind for the ratings, and we were floored by it. We loved it. So that's why we thought it'd be great to put it on the show today.
And just because it's me, I love the band. It's got a double band, and I love the colors. The colors are so vibrant. It's kind of like I would almost think like you're in you know, some tropical locale, and it's almost dusk because it's got like this blue on blue kind of color, and the palm trees with the Villiger de Nicaragua, and then underneath it Edicion Limitada.
Yeah, it's really nicely done.
2022. It's a very nice band. One of the prettiest bands I've seen in a long time.
And you got that subtle volcano in the background, which is kind of like a symbol of Nicaragua. So really well done. So yeah, that's what we got, bud.
Good start. Good start. And then, by the way, anytime I see a torpedo on my table, I love it immediately. I'm like, you know me, I'm Monty number 2 is always like one of my go-tos, and I love a torpedo. I just love the length of it. I love how it feels.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what is it that you love about a torpedo specifically?
You know what? For some reason, it feels to me like it's classy. I don't know why. I don't know, just the way it holds them. And even a box press.
Feels like it belongs with that watch.
Yeah, well, maybe. It's on the other hand. We got to balance all the...
You don't hold your cigar in your left hand ever?
No.
No.
There's only one thing on my left hand.
Okay.
And that's the wedding ring. There's no room for anything else.
Oof.
That's it.
Oh, boy.
So it's La Jefa says, that's it. That's it.
All right. No more jokes about that.
No.
Leave his left hand out of this.
I put it in my pocket and walk away. All right, so listen. So we're off to a good start with this. It's time now to get our little X's and O's.
Hot.
All right, now we've got something. I don't know how airlines have frequent flyers. You've got you can get points for shopping online at certain things. So
Rakuten.
We've got like a frequent email. I would call him our vice president of sending emails, and it's our buddy Sam Goodwill from, by the way, Gig Harbor,
Great name.
Washington.
Of a town, yeah.
Gig Harbor, Washington.
Okay.
I was
Someone got to check on Jim.
I was trying to say giggity, but it just stopped. It was gig. Good cigar.
Look what you've done, Sam.
Thanks, Sam. So Sam Goodwill from Gig Harbor, Washington wrote us this. He says, when you receive a cigar in cellophane, okay, should it be stored? I'm getting blind here. Should it be stored that way in your humidor, in the cellophane in the humidor, or should you remove it from the cellophane? Does it depend upon other factors like proposed time from storage to smoking? And he's got some single cigars that came in a sealed metal tube with a screw top. How long are they going to typically remain fresh before open? Should they be then cared for or enjoyed? A lot going on here. And, what do you got, Eric? Because I always thought one thing in particular, but I want to hear what you got to say.
Well, so first, thank you, Sam. Thank you
question.
for...
Yeah, it's a good question.
He sent a series of questions,
Giggity.
basically like, listen, you're going to pick one of these. So where the hell's my damn swag pack?
Oh, it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming, Sam. So listen, here's the thing. Let's go with first the cellophane. So cellophane, what is it, right? It's plant cellulose. And so it's a breathable protector for your cigar.
Thank you, Dr. Calvino.
That's all it is. It'll let, you can keep the cigar in cellophane, for example, and it protects it from losing humidity too fast, right? So for example, if you just take a cigar and leave it on your desk, depending on your relative humidity in your environment, but you leave it on your desk uncellowed and leave a cellowed one, the uncellowed one after a couple of days is probably going to be really, really dry, depending again on where you are. I mean, if you're in Arizona, put it on your desk, 20 minutes later, it's done.
It's on fire.
Yeah. But I'm talking about generally speaking. So the cellophane will protect it from that. It'll also obviously protect it in the case of in a cigar store, right? So you don't want people touching it. So that's what the cello is good for. Now, when you're putting it in your humidor, unless this is the way I've always done it, unless I'm putting that cigar with other cigars from that box. In other words, let's say I've got 10 or 20 of that particular cigar. If they're all together, I like to take out the cello because they're in a perfectly humidified environment and they're all kind of talking to each other. Because tobacco continues, it's always alive. As long as it's humid, tobacco continues to grab from its neighbors, right?
Oh, okay.
Aromas. It'll always do that as long as it's humid. And so when you're putting it with other cigars from that box, it's constantly just sort of marrying flavors everybody across the board. So that's a good thing. But if you're putting them in with a mixed box or a mixed humidor full of different cigars, I prefer to keep the cello on.
Great call.
Especially
I never even thought of that.
Especially if it's a shitty cigar. You want to keep that definitely away from your better stuff. You don't want
it. If possible, do not put shitty cigars in with good cigars in a humidor. So cigars, keep that in mind. Cigars, no, this doesn't happen overnight or anything like that.
Right.
Like where the cigars take on the characteristics of its neighbors. It does take time for it to do that. However, it does it. So unless you want your cigars to sort of over time all kind of smell and taste similar or take on characteristics of each other, then just keep them in the cello, right? The cello will considerably slow down that process. Now, it also slows down the aging process, right? So it slows it down. And so that can also be a good thing if, for example, this is kind of like you got to play this one by ear because some cigars are aged to smoke right now and and produced in a way that they should be smoked right now. And I'll give you one manufacturer that definitely does that. AJ Fernandez takes his cigars to the point in the way that he ferments and the way that he produces cigars. He takes it to the point that once you buy that cigar from the store, it is ready to go. It's not like, for example, let's use another manufacturer. Let's say a Opus X, a Fuente Opus X. Opus X, it can age for a very long time. It has that like long arc. Other cigars like AJ Fernandez have a very steep arc. So when you've got a cigar like that has a steep arc that's ready to go right now, keep it in the cello so that it slows down that arc.
Now,
I know that's a lot. That's asking a lot.
How do you know? Is that something you would talk to your tobacconist with, or is something? I mean, you know which ones I can smoke point. Now, or this one can age a little bit.
I mean, yes, I would definitely speak to your tobacconist, or just call Eric up because he's the most knowledgeable person I've heard on this. But something that just as a rule of thumb, I've always felt that the spicier stuff would benefit from some aging and probably leaving it uncellowed, and then the stronger, then the weaker stuff probably could be smoked a little early because otherwise it would lose too much in the inside of your humidor. I mean, it can go either way, you know. I
hadn't even thought about that because to me, I always thought the cellophane was more so when you're at the shop and everyone's touching the cigars. Everyone's, it's a good way to just keep the cigars fresher. Maybe they don't get damaged, from people grabbing it, putting it down.
Everybody's smelling a celloed cigar, which is another
really funny. Yeah,
it's a terrific thing. Yeah.
Now, I had a friend. When I remember they had a cellophane, a cigar wrapped in cellophane, took it out and the cellophane was like yellowish.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh no, the cigar is bad." That's not at all the case.
No, not at all. That means that it's probably a very old cigar.
Right.
Right. So the tobacco oils, they sort of rub off on the cellophane with time. And so if you have a really yellow cellophane, that means that cigar has been aged a good deal. Let's go to the second part of his question. He said, I have some single cigars that came in a sealed metal tube with a screw top. How long will they typically remain fresh before opened? And so that's another really good question. And the thing is, if the tube has a humidification pack inside of it, some of them do, then that cigar is probably going to be good for a year or more inside there. However, if you have a humidor, and you bought cigars in a tube, and you're not going to the golf course right now, or or fishing, or whatever it is that you bought a tube for, to take it out of the tube. Take it out of the tube and put it in your humidor. Sometimes when you put a tube in a humidor, that humidity that the humidor is providing kind of gets trapped in the tube, and you can have some moldiness in the cigar, and that's not a good thing. So if you've got a cigar in a tube and you plan on keeping it a while, take it out of the tube. Don't leave it in the tube and put it in the humidor. Because like I said, it kind of gets trapped, right? Humidity is best if it's moving along as opposed to being trapped, right?
Amazing. And again, and if you should mix your cigars, it's not going to happen overnight where they're not all going to taste the same or smell the same. No. It's going to be a bit. So, and if you're like me, my cigars don't age very much because I get them and I smoke them.
Yep. Yeah, I think guys that there's definitely consumers that age their cigars purposely and they want to age them and see how they react with time, and that's a wonderful little experiment that you do on your own, which is cool. And usually those guys will have two humidors,
right?
Like the daily. And then, the aging humidor. And so, and I think, with humidor costs being what they are nowadays, I think it's perfectly reasonable to do.
And the one time I went to Ivan's house and he gave me a cigar out of a Tupperware, I knew he was giving me the shitty cigar.
Yeah, you knew it wasn't every day.
That's my best stuff, man. Those are the ones I can hide. The others are too accessible to my friends here.
Yeah.
That smoke too much.
I love it. Well, Sam, thanks for the note. And again, if you've got a question, where can they hit us up, Eric?
Well, cigarsnob.com, you can either shoot us feedback through the website. There's a contact us there, and you can do that there. Or you can simply email us at feedback@cigarsnobmag.com, and you'll get a Cigar Snob swag pack. We'll hook you up with some stuff send you some magazines and some goodies. So, yeah, man, keep them coming. Keep the emails coming.
And Sam Goodwill of Gig Harbor, Washington. Giggity, Sam. Congratulations. You got yourself a swag pack.
All right.
So I know you guys are enjoying this Villiger limited edition.
Very much.
Edición limitada.
Oh.
You know what another Villiger product is definitely one that you should put on your list is the new Villiger do Brazil. Handcrafted entirely from the finest Brazilian tobaccos. Villiger's new do Brazil shines a spotlight on the unique characteristics of tobacco grown in the legendary Bahia region, one of the most fertile regions of Brazil, known for the cultivation of oranges, sugar cane, and coffee. This region is also known for another top-class product, fine tobacco. Villiger Cigars harvest their own tobacco here in their company-owned fields, and only the best torcedores are selected to roll these puros elaborately by hand. The Villiger do Brazil is truly a luxury product for demanding aficionados. As the company's chairman, Heinrich Villiger, emphasizes, we control the entire manufacturing process to guarantee excellent quality from the tobacco seed to the perfect cigar. The Villiger do Brazil is offered in 2 different wrappers, the Maduro and the Connecticut, named the Claro. The Maduro line is covered in an alluring Arapiraca wrapper and offers a robust medium to full body with strong aromas and bold flavors of leather, fruit, cocoa, and espresso bean. Cloaked in an elegant Bahia-grown Connecticut seed wrapper, the Villiger do Brazil Claro offers a satisfying medium body with robust aroma and flavors of sweet cedar, coffee, and pepper. The Claro is a refined smoke with exotic, eye-opening character. The Villiger do Brazil is available in both Robusto and Toro sizes. So if you find yourself looking for the perfect cigar to watch any sporting event, which which my man Jim here is doing right now on BetQL, shout out, go out and try one today, the Villiger do Brazil.
Yes, from Monday Night Football to Sunday final in golf to playoffs to NCAA tournament.
I want to hear you do the golf.
And there he is. He's walking over there, and he sings it. Yeah. You see that would be the best part. I am focusing on you guys to get me into golf.
You got it.
Well,
you got it, buddy.
That's it.
We'll get you a shirt to match us next time.
You got to first start with the shirt.
I need some of this.
Shirt.
I need some of this. Well, I got plenty of those. I need some of this Sunday swagger in my life. So listen, speaking of some swagger, Sinatra would love this. It's time for our perfect pairing.
And now, Perfect Pairings, brought to you by Total Wine and More.
Bring out the booze.
All right, so here we go. So
wow, a healthy pour.
Oh yes, so all of
no, you don't have to apologize for
all of the Sinatra stuff is in reference to one thing, right?
Of course,
it's our buddy, as Frank would say, it's John Daniels, and people would say John Daniels, it's Jack Daniels, and they say, well, no, when you've known him as long as I have, he's John. Right?
Yeah. So this is the Jack Daniels Bonded, right? So this is a 100 proof whiskey.
Our first.
So
one.
we're not doing blind.
Yeah.
Right. We know.
Explain a little bit.
We know what we're tasting here. So a friend of ours, Henry, he brought in a bottle of the new Jack Daniels Twice Barreled, which is a limited release.
Ooh.
And
that just sounds amazing.
Well, so what we wanted to do was kind of do a vertical here where we go Jack Daniels Bonded, which is a 100 proof whiskey.
Right.
Then do the Jack Daniels Single Barrel, which its proof changes by the barrel. The one that we happen to have here is I think it's 132.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
And then the third being the Twice Barreled, which this particular one comes in at 106. Normally we don't do that like up and down thing. However, I wanted to do the Twice Barreled last since it's the limited edition. So
of course.
So I think you can see if by the way, if you guys are listening on Apple Podcast and you want to see what these bottles look like, you can tune into our YouTube channel and you can see them there. The bottles. Can you see the bottles there, guys?
They may be hard to see with my gigantic smile from ear to ears. I have these luxury bottles in front of me. I'm like, oh yes, indeed.
So these are not typical Jack, like a mixing Jack for a Jack and Coke, right? This is a different beast, right? So Jack Daniels Bonded is, I thought, at $30, which is what that bottle cost.
Yeah.
I thought that was the steal of the year when that came out.
So run it
last
by
year.
me again. What is bonded? 'Cause I think bonded. I think did it go to jail
So,
and we
yeah.
need to get it out.
Bonded
and-
out,
So
yeah.
bonded is a reference to
Bungled.
bungled.
Giggity bonded.
Yeah, and we haven't even started drinking yet.
Well, that's what you think.
So bonded is a reference to the Bottled in Bond Act.
Ah.
So again, like I've talked on other episodes, whenever you see bonded or bottled in bond, you can just the first thing you can assume is that it's 100 proof,
Mhm.
right? As opposed to being a 90 something proof like most whiskeys are that are watered down. So this is bottled in bond is 100 proof, so it's 50% alcohol. And normal Jack, I don't know. I don't think we have a bottle of normal Jack, but I can look it up to see what the proof is on that bottle
So
on the old number 7.
one of the reasons why we did this, I mean, this is an excellent pairing that our friend Herring, giggity, giggity,
He goes by pescado.
Henry came and brought us these bottles. Villiger also has a relationship with Jack
Yeah, that's a good
Daniels,
point.
and they've done pairings in the past. So this pairing that we're doing here with the Villiger and the Jack Daniels is something that they've been doing
Nice.
for a while now.
Yeah. Yeah, the two companies have sort of co-ventured for events and things like that. So just for reference, the Jack Daniel's Old Number 7, the standard Tennessee whiskey, is 40% alcohol, which is 80 proof. And so now, why don't we go in and taste the bonded?
All right, I'm going in. I think I got a little less than everyone, but that's okay.
Yeah, I got.
That's okay.
I got cheated.
Well, that's all right. Well, you already drank yours, didn't you?
No.
Well, first of all, it's kind of like an
I did not get cheated, by the way.
it's an amber, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a little.
Well, so
cinnamony?
one thing to note is Jack Daniel's never gives you an age statement.
Mhm.
So you don't know what the age of the whiskeys are. What they do is basically, listen, trust us. We're gonna bottle this whiskey when it's ready to drink.
And if there's anybody I trust, it's Jack Daniels. So the first thing, it fills up your palate. Wow, it's like taking a big bite out of like a real juicy kind of fruit. It just
It's almost like a caramel covered apple.
yeah. It definitely
That's a good description.
Wow. Yeah, there's tons of caramel in there, but it is very juicy
very juicy.
on your palate. As soon as you take that sip, it goes
Like I apologize if I start smacking because I feel like I'm gonna start smacking any minute, man. But
This is nothing like the old Jack Daniels, the
No, not at all.
run of the mill black label.
not at
whatever they
all.
call it. This
And
is
if
not
you,
it.
and sometimes people don't trust you when you say stuff like that, right? They're like, "Oh, I've had Jack Daniels. I know what Jack Daniels. I have Jack and Coke all throughout college or whatever." Okay. Well, it's so different, and so what I would say is, if you don't believe what Ivan said, that this is a very different Jack, that this doesn't taste anything like normal Jack, get yourself that bonded. It's $30, and it's I don't know, but I think it's a steal
Amazing.
at $30.
right, well, to quote our buddy Bruno Mars, "Don't believe it, just watch." Right?
Look at you.
See how that works?
No, but seriously, it is very good. And also, I think it bears mentioning again, this is not paid for by Jack Daniels or anything like that. Like, I really do believe this is an excellent product at an excellent price point. No questions asked.
Now,
I keep hearing somebody's Jack come up through their esophagus.
that would-
I think it's you, buddy.
It's not me.
I think it's me. I think it's me. I think my
Hey, I'm in here.
esophagus is like, oh, hey, we need some more. Cling,
Hey,
cling, cling,
I'm in
cling.
here.
Dinner, clang, 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 clang. Well, we know the mics work. Better that or my
Great
stomach.
job, Nat.
Better that or my stomach.
All right. So how does it go with the cigar? I have to relight because I've talked way too much.
I think it's too much for the cigar. I don't think they play well. I mean, it's not that one is bad. I'm not saying that. I just think to me they don't. They're their own entities, right?
Well-
How's the cigar doing for you now? Has it, because at first you said it was a little bit strong. Has it creamed that? Has it gotten a little bit more subtle with the strength for you?
Definitely.
It has, right?
Definitely.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah, I think it's definitely turned into a very milder, very like, okay, now we're at cruising altitude. I can walk around the cabin now. It's quite delicious.
Right. And now when we're drinking this bonded right out of the gate, it does taste a little strong, because
Yeah.
it's
50%.
and it's very early in the day. We haven't,
Mhm.
so I can see why you can feel that it's not making that.
Well, my
bang.
esophagus is telling you that.
Sure.
All right, but I will say what I usually say when it comes to high alcohol spirits with cigars. Take that sip of the alcohol, slosh it around your mouth, then swallow. Take one puff. That first puff, you're probably not going to taste the cigar at all.
Right.
And then try it on the second one and see how it goes. And then on the third one and see how it goes. So when a spirit is too strong for the cigar, which once you get into 50% territory and up,
It's going to be strong.
it's always going to overpower the cigar. There's almost no way that the cigar can. I mean, this is a hearty, intensely flavored cigar with tons of earth and pepper. It should stand up, but it can't. It's 50% alcohol. It's too much. So whenever you have that, always just increase the ratio of puffs to sips.
And don't forget, and you could throw a retro hill in there too. That'll help it too.
Sure.
All right. So
what did it? So try that. So again, a couple of puffs in between sips, and what happened to the cigar? Because I think that it adds a beautiful caramel note to it.
Need a refill.
Well, Jim has the bottle.
that would be $9, please.
Are you catching this, Nat?
Sir. Tipping you on the card.
This is the what is it? The ASMR portion of the show.
Yeah.
Glug, 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 glug. All right. So Ivan, what do you got there? Puffy puff, drinky drink, squeak from the chair.
Yeah, so I do. I go back to that. It adds like a delicious caramel vanilla note to the cigar that wasn't there before. As if the cigar needed any more flavors to add to it. It's actually really nice.
I'm doing the Manolo from Casa 1910
Oh boy.
pairing technique. So I drink. For those who haven't heard the episode, I take a swig,
A healthy swig.
a healthy swig, into my stomach, and then I bring the alcohol vapor back up through my esophagus into my mouth.
Jim does that unwittingly.
Silently. Silently.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
And
Can I
then
buy you a
take
drink?
drag.
Get away from me.
So
So I just did it, and the nuttiness from the cigar comes out. So it does play very well. It's like a walnut almost with like vanilla, and
I'm
it's
with
still
that.
creamy. Yeah,
I'm with that. Yeah.
All
It's like it took that roastedness that the nuts had before. It kind of tones it down, and now you taste like the nuts, like lightly roasted. It's pretty cool.
All right. So
all right.
All right.
number 2.
Moving on to
letter B.
this is the single barrel. So this is Jack Daniel's single barrel. These can come in at anywhere from like 120 to 135 proof, right? So we have we're going from 100 in this particular bottle that we have here. Jimmy, can you pull the bottle up to the camera, the second bottle? Yeah, so they can see, and then show that bottom portion where it has the proof on that one. So that one's about 132 proof.
This
Yeah,
is going to be stout.
it is.
Yeah.
No question, right?
Don't judge a book by its cover here. This little bottle is going to pack a punch.
But it smells delicious.
One other thing to note here in terms of differences. So the bonded and the single barrel, I believe, have the exact same sort of, let's call it, recipe. In the whiskey world, that would be the mash bill.
Mhm.
What kind of grains go into it? I believe that those two have the same exact mash bill.
Sorry,
Okay.
say that again. Which two?
The bonded that we just had and the single barrel that we're about to have.
This smells much sweeter.
Much,
Whereas
right?
well,
Much.
it's probably got more
It's-
age on it. Probably they don't tell you, but
It feels very delicate. I mean, or it smells very delicate.
It won't be.
so there. Yeah,
But
you can see
body!
there's a color difference here. I don't know if can you see that, Nat? Can you see the difference?
Yeah, but it does smell sweeter, right?
Yeah. So, and again, the single barrel is basically them handpicking a barrel that they think is exceptional and bottling that.
I was listening for any sound effects coming out of you.
No, I like this. Is nice.
You like it, huh?
Ooh.
Okay.
With a nice little heat finish. Oh,
That is wonderful.
smooth, baby.
Absolutely wonderful.
Smooth. Oh, this is like
Now, again,
fresh
keep in mind-
haircut smooth.
Keep in mind, that's a 132 proof.
Right.
Ooh,
So that's a healthy pour you've got there, Chief.
I didn't pour myself.
Oh, that's
No,
no.
this
I'm
is
just-
it.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. Because I was gonna
No.
take you. It's gonna take you down to Chinatown, baby.
No, that's not it.
So, but anyway, so this is fantastic.
Oh, it's another world.
Yeah,
See,
I'm really
like-
impressed by this one.
And like for me, like I will say this, the first one we had, the bonded, was just bam in your face for me. It just grabbed my palate. This one is so just delicate and smooth and just
It coats your
opulent. You know,
coats your
and-
throat.
Can you
with
know what, Jimmy?
sweetness.
Since you like you drink whiskeys with a cube,
oh
can
my
you
gosh.
imagine that with one big ice cube, like a little bit colder?
Oh my god!
So the temperature when you cool whiskey down, typically it gets a little more viscose, a little sweeter. That would be outrageous. Outrageous. That'll be almost like dessert.
so
It's like
good.
a dessert. Yeah, like what you would do with a dessert wine after
Exactly.
a meal. This is like a dessert. Drink.
But even at that proof, man, that's really well done. So Chris Fletcher is the master distiller at Jack Daniel's, and
Mhm.
really just outstanding with this.
Like the word for me is elegant. It's very elegant. It's very classy. It's I would call it it's Herklots.
Oh,
Herklots.
okay,
Right?
oh boy, he really does love them.
yeah, I know.
I'm just throwing it out there.
I'm going to throw
Cheers, Mike.
some culinary facts because you've thrown a lot of facts.
I appreciate
this
you,
way in
yeah.
this episode here.
Mm.
Is that good or bad?
You've been Wikipedia. No, I've learned a lot.
Yeah, we need you smoking, man. Go ahead.
Have you heard that when you make pasta, you should use some of the water that you boil the pasta
Yeah, that
and keep
starchy.
it on there, the starchy water, so that the sauce can stick to the pasta.
Yep.
This single barrel right here is almost like coating my throat. So when I take the puff, it's like
Mm.
sticking. The smoke is sticking to my palate.
That's a tremendous observation.
Great
Right?
visual of what's going on. Yeah, absolutely.
It's like it's a lot thicker, more viscose than the bonded, and it's just like grabbing onto all the flavors. It's very nice.
Wow, that was really good.
That is a perfect observation. This is so
I
good
think
together.
I think
oh
it's
my
because
god!
the amount of alcohol, it just like strips down whatever membrane you had, and it just leaves you bare.
I mean, it's so
my,
good.
My nose is running.
Yeah, me too.
Oh my gosh! I got to take off one of the bands here because I'm getting close to it. But
So if you're not used to drinking these high proof whiskeys, don't be ashamed to drop a drop or two of water
Sure.
or use an ice cube. You know, if you buy the bottle or you buy the drink, have it however the hell you want, right? But I would always say try it. Try that single sip of just uncooled down, unwatered down liquid so you can see what you're working with, so you can have a baseline and then say, all right, that's awesome, but I don't know if I can do that very long. So
sure.
let's go with an ice cube.
Yeah, because you don't want to get too loose on this. You don't want to get you don't because then it takes away from the enjoyment.
Personally,
of it all.
for me, that's never the idea. Obviously, that happens when you drink a lot.
Sure.
You can lose it, but that's never the idea for me. I don't drink to lose my bearings. That's not what I want to taste these creations and have my wits about me so that I can
Right. Exactly.
enjoy them.
No,
Speak
but
for
this
yourself.
no. But so far, this single barrel is it's heaven. It's absolute gorgeousness.
Yeah.
All right. So now comes el plato fuerte, the main event. This is the Canelo main event time.
Yeah, so this is a step down in proof, but a completely different mash bill. So this is all malt, which is completely different from everything else that Jack has ever produced.
It's dark brown. I mean,
Yeah.
look at it.
So it has zero corn, right? So this is what they're calling,
So it's keto friendly.
it is keto friendly. So this is what they're calling an American single malt.
All right.
Right. And so what they did is they barreled as usual, right? So they distill the 100% malt, they barrel it, and then they pull it and barrel it again in a second barrel of Oloroso sherry, which For Scotch drinkers, you're like, yeah, there's nothing new there. I've seen that before. Every freaking Scotch finishes their, not every, but many of them finish their whiskeys in sherry barrels or casks. But that's not that common in America. There's only a couple of other distilleries that do that. Sherry casks are extremely expensive. They're like $1,000 a pop, already used. So yeah,
you
it's
get
not.
you get them cheaper on Etsy.
Ah, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. I'll let Chris know. But the thing to note here is that there's going to be zero corn here. So this is going to be more like a single malt Scotch, let's say, in that way, except that it's being aged here in the U.S. in Kentucky, in Tennessee, where it's a lot warmer than it is in Scotland. Yeah. So the contact with the barrel is going to have a very different effect, which is why you get that very dark color. Again, this is no artificial coloring here. This is from the barrel, and you can see how dark that is.
This is all Jack here. Here we go. We're going in.
Salud, guys.
Salud.
Salud.
Different beast altogether.
Yeah.
So
It's like a syrup.
smooth.
It's like
Different.
it's like syrupy.
I mean, it's put it on your pancakes.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if I'm like, it's not like I'm licking my, smacking my lips and licking. It's so good.
Syrupy, but it's
It is
scotchy.
so good.
It is scotchy
And
because
it
But
has
it's
that-
syrupy,
you're right.
which you're used to a little bit thinner.
it's a completely unique expression. Honestly, if you can somehow get your hands on that, I don't know how many of those they produce. I don't have those figures, but if you can get your hands on that twice barrel, that is a unique bottle, and I think it's only about $70, $70 or $80 at retail. Secondary market prices are obviously going to be stupid,
Right.
because they usually are for a highly allocated product. So, but it's such a unique American whiskey. You don't get these. You get that. You still get some of that burnt caramel kind of flavor, a little bit of that vanilla, but then you get this note of like that dried fruit sweetness in the background, like a fig. You
Yeah.
get that in the background.
Yeah, I mean, it took a
very
minute. It
interesting.
took a minute, but that sweetness is kicking in now.
Very, very
It took
interesting.
a minute.
I would still sip this like a bourbon.
Yeah.
And not drink it like a scotch. Like a scotch, I drink a little bit more, and bourbons I sip, and I think this one I'd still sip.
Like I'm a big cube guy.
Yeah.
I like my drinks cold. I like a lot of my drinks cold. But this is the one thing that I think I would be more daring. I would be more, okay, I want to drink this neat and really get into those flavors and really go on this adventure with it.
you
It's
liking
so
it?
good.
Are you liking it?
I do. I really
So let's
do.
see where we're at with the cigar. I have to relight.
This Villiger is having a good time with these jacks. I'll tell you that.
Honestly, I know that the spirit overpowers the cigar every time, but man, a couple of puffs later, it's gonna be good.
I get more of the pepper now. Now I can feel a little bit more of the bite of the cigar. Maybe because we're getting to the end of it. I don't know.
Right.
But I'm getting a little bit more of the pepper.
Mm.
It does well with all of them. I mean, this is a special occasion cigar and spirit combination. It's excellent.
See, I what I love is I love taking the sip, waiting till that sweetness at the very end kicks in, and then you get in that cigar. Oh, they meld perfectly. I mean, there's such a great amalgamation right there. And it is
Whoa.
such a great.
This guy's getting ready for SATs over here.
I'm ready. I got a kid about ready to go to high school. I need to learn some words. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, it's good. You good? Like kids are saying that
No, it's
constantly. You good?
It's very good. All right, I need something more than very. Come on, it's really very good. No, this is amazing. This is amazing. I know it's a pairing segment. You're almost. I don't know. I mean, it's that single barrel and this Villiger are perfect. You almost don't want to get in the way of anything and have this twice barreled, on its own. But even the Villiger is treating it very nice. And again, to me, it's you drink this You wait for that sweetness, and then you get that cigar. Oh, the flavors! It's an explosion of goodness.
I'd love to have all 3 bottles at my bar
Oh,
for different occasions.
Is that why I see on the camera here on the weekends you have parties in here?
Yeah.
It's R&D. It's research and development.
Yeah. But anyway, no, really a fantastic pairing. All 3 work very well in different ways. If you had to pick one, Ivan, which one are you going with? Again, if
Pick one for what?
pick one pairing of the 3.
With the cigar.
Yep.
The single barrel.
Me too.
Yeah.
Unanimous.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I love the twice barrel.
Just to show it off, to
Sure.
people. Check this out.
Sure.
This is so different. Look at this. Look how cool.
Yeah, I mean, I love it also with the cigar, but the single barrel,
It's really good. Yeah.
it's spectacular with the
To
cigar.
to me, the twice barreled and a cigar is almost like a Lamborghini on a beautiful sunset. It's just so much going on. I think either one could stand on its own. But yeah, this single barrel and this Villiger, it's opulence.
I has it.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Oh,
Really beautiful, man.
so all it means is for everybody listening or watching, enjoy. Get after it, man. We love it. And listen, as always, Perfect Pairings is brought to you by our good buddies at Total Wine and More, where you'll always find the right bottle at the right price with their lowest price guarantee. You can visit Total Wine and More at totalwine.com. That's totalwine.com.
Total Wine. Total. All right.
Total Wine.
All right.
No, he was going Sean Connery.
I was
He
going-
was setting you up.
I am the last one.
There you go. There you go.
I am
Thank you,
the
Ivan,
last
for
one.
translating.
You bring. You send one of yours to the
Mystic.
hospital. You send one of his to the morgue. That's the Chicago way. A guy who knows about the Chicago way. No, a great guy. Our buddy from Villiger Cigars, Rene Castañeda.
Look at that with the Enya.
Right?
Nicely done.
him and his tilde are coming up.
All right. So we are here with the man, Rene Castañeda, president of Villiger North America, baby. In the house.
Gentlemen, how are you?
Man, great to have you on here.
Great to have you.
I was impressed with all the technology that we have over here,
At our disposal.
and I thought things were about to get serious when I got your message. We have the studio ready for you.
It was it ready or was it ready?
It was,
All right.
and the cigars and the drinks. So we're ready, baby.
Yeah, man. So we are, again, just like the main show, we're drinking the twice barreled from Jack Daniels. So what are you, let's before we talk about Villiger and you and all that, let's have a quick little toast here. Salud.
Cheers, salud,
Cheers.
salud, cheers. La
Cheers,
Santé.
y'all.
Let's lubricate before we
Nice.
speak.
Very cool, man. This is
Isn't that
nice.
awesome?
Man,
I'm in love with this twice barreled thing.
this has that little burn, that touch, the point where the soul and the body gets together. It's
I love that.
There,
Oh,
man. It's
very nice.
I love that. I think it's the
Different.
53% alcohol that's reaching the.
The soul.
yeah, and
That's
we
touching your
will
soul.
feel it. We will feel it a little bit later.
Yeah, for sure. So let's do a quick introduction, right? Because although we talk about you all the time on the show, let's hear about Rene Castañeda, how you got to this point, right? Where we're at right now as president of Villiger North America. Villiger, I don't know, give us a little background también on Villiger, because I think that warrants.
Absolutely.
A lot of people may not know Villiger. They know it because of the show, and we talk about it all the time. But whoever doesn't really know the background of Villiger, I think it's significant.
It's significant, yes. That no, Villiger was established. Let's just start with that little bit of history in 1888 in Switzerland, small town Pfäffikon in Switzerland, and over the years it started developing into a massive company. Essentially focused at the beginning, I would say 70% of the history on the machine-made cigars. We were right there at the beginning of the mechanization of the cigars, using a technology to make machine-made cigars. So right now, I mean, the head of the company is Mr. Heinrich Villiger. He's 93 years old. He still goes to the office every day. He claims to work half time, but he goes to the office from noon until like 8 or 9 p.m. But in his mind, he's just working half time,
Half a day, yeah.
half a day.
By the way, how long has he been 93? Because I've been I've been hearing that this gentleman is 93 years old now for I don't know how long.
And how much does he smoke?
Actually, 3 cigars a day. And he always said, like, the day that I die, the people will say that I died because of smoking too many cigars. It's his thing all the time. No, but listen, today, when it comes to the machine-made cigars, we have a factory in Switzerland, 2 factories in Germany, and 1 in Indonesia, all focused on making machine-made cigars. We also are the Habanos distributors for the German-speaking countries. We are Habanos in Switzerland, Germany, Austria, Poland, and Hungary. So we have a division called Fifth Avenue for the German market, and Intertabac in Switzerland, that is the distributor of the Habanos. Then we have the different divisions in, like Villiger France, Villiger USA, Villiger Germany, Villiger Switzerland. But these are more the commercial divisions in charge of servicing each one of the markets. And there is a huge department for export or international markets, to call it. So for us as a company, our local markets are, Germany and Switzerland. And for that, we have the machine made, we have the Habanos, and we have the Villiger handmade cigars. This is the latest part of the latest chapter of Villiger, because it's more or less about 20 years since the company got or switched gears to handmade cigars. Mainly, Mr. Villiger saw that the future of the tobacco industry was more into the premium cigars, and if any product in this industry had any chance to survive, it was going to be the handmade cigars, the premium handmade cigars, because cigarillos, because flavors, all of them are being regulated at this moment. So the chance of long-term survival is minimizing for each one of those categories. So that's the part that we have, as a company, put a lot of effort and investment into the handmade cigar. And that takes me to the bridge, like why I came to Villiger, because at that moment was when Villiger was trying to establish themselves in the US, but with a focus on the handmade cigars. I mean, as of today, I have 25 years in the cigar business, and now I have 7 years with Villiger, running their operations in the US. And it has been like anything, a challenge with good things, ups and downs into the process. But the main thing was to present, what Villiger was able to produce and to present as, let's call it world-class cigars. We're trying to make cigars for different markets, different times. And we also have some brands that we sell in all the markets. We call them global brands. But also each region has, specific cigars that we smoke or we produce just for those regions. And we have many of those for the U.S. market. We saw that was the best chance to be able and serve that community, that market, that niche. Localized, exactly. Because it's different flavor profiles in the different areas. One thing is the Middle East, another thing is Europe, the Chinese, and even the U.S. market. That we know and we understand, in a way, we are like latecomers to the U.S. So we're putting a lot of effort into establishing the name, the brand, the recognition, and that one. So it's a process that I think is just starting. We have been able to at least start earning the respect of the industry, and then, step by step, to earn the respect from the consumers and to be able to be part of the rotation of, the regular cigars that we are always smoking at all the time in the U.S. market. At least that's my responsibility on it. So we have, already 7 years. I think that we have evolved. I think that we have been able to start developing an identity for the brand. But there is a lot to do and a lot of work to be done in the future.
Yeah, well said. So, speaking to the localized products, you're smoking the Villiger Miami.
Yes. Right?
So that's a cigar that we've talked about on the show several times. But now you're smoking it on the show.
Actually, yes. This is a cigar that has had a great response from the market, but at the beginning was a cigar that just was made actually for myself. It's the only cigar that the blend was made for me. If you smoke this cigar, this is a well-aged, rounded, nice, mild to medium cigar. And it was that, you know, I'm a big fan of these traditional vitolas. In this case, the one that I'm smoking is the Laguito #1 or Lancero.
And that was the first.
Yes,
That was the first release, which was the cigar that you had literally made for you.
yes, and that was the cigar that I was sharing with the people once COVID was over. People coming to the office, and I was giving them unbanded. I remember that I gave it to you unbanded, and we were, you know, smoking them and enjoying them. And then customers, friends were calling to the office, "Hey, can you send some of those cigars that you gave us in Miami, and can you give us that Villiger that you gave us in Miami?" And it was that we didn't have any creativity, marketing, you know, kumbaya meeting.
There was no plan around
no
it.
plan around. The Villiger Miami was born out of the request from the people on that one, just because the tobacco was limited in you know, to create it. We just made 5,000 cigars of the Lanceros, and we made 5,000 cigars of the Robusto. Actually, we made 10 and 10. It's just that the other 5 are going to be sold, and it's going to start next month to be sold in Switzerland and Germany.
So the Villiger Miami will be sold over there.
Starting March 1st, it will be available in Switzerland and Germany.
That's pretty cool. It was a product that was just literally, like you just said, born here.
Born here, and out of curiosity, out of having too much time in our hands during COVID too.
Yeah.
So it was a fun project, but it's well accepted, and Mr. Villiger actually enjoyed it. So he was like, "We love this. Let's do this. Let's go to the international." It
has a very classic profile.
It makes sense, you know, because from a strength perspective, how does that line up in the Villiger portfolio? Because I think it's on the, let's say, medium side. It's not something that's very, very strong, and that's a profile that's really accepted in Europe.
Yes, and especially we were working on that, you know, mild plus, I will say, medium body strength on the cigar. And it's pretty much where the European market is. You know, they are now for the first time really exposed in a massive way to, let's say, Nicaraguan strength, Nicaraguan's profile, you know, due to the lack of Cuban cigars in the market. That's a complete chapter that we can talk a little bit more about it. But, you know, at this point, more and more cigars from Nicaragua, Dominican, and Honduras are being exposed to the consumer in Europe. So it's interesting. This one fit that space that we weren't taking, even the Europeans, but it wasn't made because of that. But, you know, coincidentally, it was one cigar that you can easily put in that market, and the people will be pleased to smoke and enjoy it. And I'm talking about the European consumers.
Yeah. And so, you mentioned Nicaragua a second ago. So you guys opened a new factory. You opened a factory in Nicaragua called Villiger de Nicaragua, and you collaborated with Joya de Nicaragua on that. And you did the ribbon cutting at Puro Sabor in the festival, which Yami was at, and the images of that opening will be in the upcoming magazine.
Oh, great. Thank you.
So can you tell us about that factory and why partner with Joya de Nicaragua, a fantastic cigar maker, obviously? So how was that born, and why did you choose? I imagine you had options.
No, for sure. But, you know, Mr. Villiger is an old school guy. So he believes in the relationships that he has developed over the years. So there is a strong relationship, you know, friendship between him and Dr. Alejandro Martinez Cuenca. So when that time came that Mr. Villiger wanted to have a factory in Nicaragua, he reached out to Dr. Cuenca to make this happen. The idea was this: listen, we needed a partner that has expertise, the know-how, you know, to execute, and especially that factory was built out during COVID. It became operational on October 2021. So during 2020 and 2021, that factory was built out. So we needed, you know, boots in the ground over there to make sure that you have the expertise, the knowledge, and also that there was the trust between the two companies to execute a massive project like this.
The people to work it too. During COVID, you couldn't go down there.
Exactly. We wanted to have an operational factory from day one. So we were making cigars right off the gate on October 21. And for that, you needed a partner that has the capacity to reach out to have rollers that are ready to work the next day. And that was part of that one. We did, and we waited for Puro Sabor just because it was the place, the press was there,
Yeah.
Johnny was there, the whole group was there to present the factory and to do the official ribbon cutting. We were over there with Corina Villiger, the daughter of Mr. Villiger, and Lucien Villiger, the grandson of Mr. Villiger. This is the next generation of the family into the business. We were really pleased and impressed with what the team at Hoya had put together. And that also gave the opportunity to Hoya to promote to some management position some of the people that they had at Hoya. So it was also beneficial for them, not only on the financial side, but on the personal, professional life of the people that work with them. So we're very, very, very pleased. We keep growing. Of course, as you know, there is situations in Nicaragua regarding we need more rollers. And we're, through the expertise of Hoya, getting more and more to be able to that we can have more capacity at that factory. And of course, as we move on and as we develop more things over there, we will put more brands out there for the U.S. market. Maybe you saw and you have smoked. We were talking about it.
Yeah, that's what we smoked on the show. That was my next question. Was the Villiger de Nicaragua is a limited edition?
A limited edition. And
so what comes next on the heels of that?
On that one, we're planning to release by the time of the PCA the Villiger 1888 Nicaragua. We presented or introduced that product in Dortmund last year.
Yep.
And now is the time for us to put it over here. So we try to, as much as sometimes we want to have cigars all over the markets, sometimes because of production logistics, we need to take turns. So in this case, it was Germany and Switzerland where we launched the cigars first, and now will be the US, just to give the factory the pace, the time to work the cigars, to develop the cigars, to age the cigars. So that's the plan. But our goal is to introduce the Villiger 1888 Nicaragua at the PCA.
Okay, and what more or less what is that? What kind of wrapper is that? What?
It's a Nicaraguan Puro. Is more. The idea here is to try to show in a core brand, not in a limited edition cigar, our blending and production capabilities. So it's a true Nicaraguan, 100% Nicaraguan tobacco. Medium plus, I would say, not full body, but it will be a medium plus, more with those earthy notes that you find on the Nicaraguan cigars, a little bit of spice, a little bit of a strength in the cigar. So we try to be a complete different exercise what we have done with other brands that we have in the US, like the Villiger Cuellar Cream, the Villiger Miami, the Villiger 1888 that we do in Dominican Republic is also a mild, creamy, smooth cigar. So it's a departure for that one to represent in a way, the best way possible, the Nicaraguan tobaccos.
Yeah, it's almost like you have these very mild, or not very mild, but for guys who like full-bodied stuff, mild cigars. And then you have the Villiger de Nicaragua, which is a stronger cigar, the Vencedora, which is a stronger cigar.
Yes, it is.
The Libertad was stronger.
Yes.
And then kind of in the middle, you have this cigar, by the way. So the TAA, the Villiger TAA exclusive 2023, which was released at the TAA trade show. This one is kind of like right in the middle.
True. No, listen.
It's very creamy, very sweet, wonderful cigar. This is my first time smoking it.
The Villiger TAA, it's our, in a way, playground to reach out to new consumers. Let me try to explain that. It's the only project that we make in a different factory every year, a factory that is not our factory. The first TAA, we made it with Ernesto Perez Carrillo, the TAA 2020. The 2021, we made it with Hochi Blanco. The 22, we made it with Eric Espinosa.
We loved that one.
That's a great cigar for sure. And this one is made with Aganorsa. So that's the idea. We want the people to get more familiar with the Villiger name. And one of the ways is going to people that we respect as master blenders, that are good friends of ours at the company in general, to make cigars for us, but we can get some of his followers and consumers to be exposed to our name. And we talk to them every time that we're doing this project, that's the bridge that we're trying to do. And fortunately, because we have reached out to people that are very close to us, they have no problem, and they help us to make great cigars to go to the market because, also their name is in the line, of course. So we're very proud of that project, and the TAA, we continue to do that one, and it gives us a chance to explore, new blends, new ideas, new things to develop for our cigars.
Well, I love this one.
Yeah.
I really do. Like I said earlier, it's sweet and creamy and spicy. It has a beautiful combination, very well balanced.
Thank you.
And the strength is like, again, not where the Villiger Miami is and not where the Vencedora is.
Right in the middle.
It's right down the pipe.
No, and that's what we try to do. We need to make cigars that are different, to offer different options to the people, different alternatives when it comes to the Villiger cigars. And again, this is one of those local, regional things that we try to do. Just to give you an idea, on the global level, we have brands like La Libertad that you mentioned. We have the Villiger 1888 Dominican Republic. We have the Villiger Sandoros, the Colorado and the Claro. Right. But then, we tend to have more of our own U.S. Only market cigars, like La Flor de Inclán, La Vencedora, the Villiger Quiet Cream, the Black Forest, and now we're working with the Villiger Miami, but now the Villiger Miami is going to the international markets. And let's not forget, if not, I'm getting in trouble with the boss, we have Villiger do Brasil. Villiger do Brasil.
Man, those Swiss, they love their Brazilian tobacco, right?
They do. And Mr. Villiger,
there's no exception.
No exception to the rule. Last time that I was with him, he went to his humidor. He's very formal, very old school. Mr. Castañeda, I have a cigar for you. I have a 22-year-old Brazilian pure that we should smoke. For sure, baby, let's smoke it.
I'm down.
I'm down. Let's do it. But they do love the Brazilian cigars. We have a boutique factory in Brazil that we make the Villiger do Brasil Claro, the Villiger do Brasil Maduro, and we also make over there one of the versions of the Corrida cigar. The Corrida is mainly sold in Europe. We have some representation of that brand over here, but the Corrida is one of those brands that has a cigar made in Dominican Republic, Nicaragua, Honduras, and Brazil. We use all our presence to make in one brand different cigars. So from Brazil is that the two Villiger do Brasil and the Corrida Brazil. That's what we have on those. And whenever Mr. Villiger wants to do an anniversary cigar, he goes to Brazil and makes a Brazilian cigar. The latest one was the Aniversario 2020, and it was a Brazilian pure that we had. That it was a very good cigar, but it was a very short run that we put out.
Well, this the TAA. Not to jump back into this, the TAA works incredibly with this twice-barreled Jack Daniels. I don't know. You finding that too, Ivan?
They're both excellent on their own, but together they're special.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it really is.
Good.
It brings out like a caramel in the cigar that's absolutely delicious. So, so then you guys did the Villiger do Brasil. I'm sorry, the Villiger de Nicaragua factory, which you talked about a little bit. So you've got the 1888 Nicaragua coming out of there.
Mm-hmm.
What else is? So that's being released at PCA. What other? But you have so many factories and so many things that you work with, so many different companies that you work with. What else is coming down the pipe?
We are planning to put a new Villiger Miami in a size that is traditionally called Cañonazo, that is almost like a Toro, close to a 6x50, a little bit less, 5 7/8 by 53 to be exact, the size of the Vitola. The plan over here was to give a little bit more of strength to the blend of the regular standard Villiger Miami. So we're planning to put some time by the summer. We hope that it's going to be ready too by the PCA. So we have the 1888 Nicaragua and the Villiger Miami, in this case 2023. And again, it's small batch on those. And we're working on some limited editions from Villiger de Nicaragua. Again, we're going to put the Villiger de Nicaragua Edición Limitada 2023 and and we have another one that is on the works. We're just waiting for clearance on the trademark to be able to work on that. But the cigars are already made and they're being aged, so we're just working the legalities of the trademarks. That that you have to do that homework, because if not, you end up killing yourself in the process if you don't do it.
Of course. And so what you said, if I didn't miss that, is that there will be an Edición Limitada 2023 for Villiger de Nicaragua.
Yes. As I told you, the idea is that we want to showcase and brag a little bit about the blending capabilities that we have at Villiger de Nicaragua, and even with our partner Aban Cigars in Dominican Republic. So that's the idea, that we put these short runs, limited editions, to be able to showcase easily, besides our core brands, some special cigars that we think that they're very special.
Quite busy. Quite busy.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember is 1888 one of the first flagship
for sure.
brands?
That was the first.
It is the first one. I remember it was like that was made in Santo Domingo, and it was like that was the Villiger brand, known for premium cigar.
Totally.
And the evolution since then, like you can hear from different countries to strength profiles, the flavors. I mean, it's been incredible.
Listen, we have been working hard, and again, is trying to. As I told you, we're at the beginning of the process. We're trying to find our place in the U.S. market. The best way to connect to the consumers is bringing them different options to get the feedback. We know that not all the cigars will be winners, but in the process, we're getting a great response from the people and respect from the consumers towards the Villiger brand. And that's really what we want. We want, as I told you, some people might not know us, a little bit of us, and some people just know us for the machine-made cigars. We want to make sure that in that process, we present ideas, we present cigars, we present different blends. That's the reason that we go to, the experts that we have, like Aban in Dominican Republic, the Martinez family at Villiger de Nicaragua. We have had this discussion many times. I'm not a master blender. I don't pretend to be a master blender. I have a lot of respect for the people. All I really do is to approve what goes to the market. If that makes me a master blender, okay, that's a different story. But I have a lot of respect for the craft and the art that is behind blending a cigar. To abuse that word of being a master blender.
It's a very refreshing take, because,
Again, all I do is to approve the blend that goes to the market.
You're a master smoker.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's a very refreshing take, because, for me, as you know, with all the people that we spend time with, when someone who's really just approving stuff, or just saying, no, I want a cigar that has this kind of strength and this kind of that, or I'll even give you a guy who literally sat down and said, no, I'd like this tobacco, this tobacco, this tobacco, and this tobacco in this blend. Let's try that. Oh, that's good. And they will call themselves a master blender for having done that. No. That isn't the biggest job of the master blender. The master blender has to maintain that flavor profile in perpetuity, right? And that's the difficult part. That's what makes that guy a master, not going, yep. Oh, these are good. Yes. No, that doesn't make you a master blender.
I was having this conversation, one person, and I won't say any name, but it was like...
Yeah, I appreciate that. Let's not use that.
Listen, it's, to make a good cigar once, that's pretty easy. To keep it consistent in the long term, okay, now that's when you take the hat off and respect the people for doing that.
Not only that, but the guy that's doing that, or the woman, whoever is doing that at that factory, is doing that for blend after blend after blend after blend for year after year, right?
Yes.
And that's incredibly difficult, because it's not, with all due respect to Mr. Daniels, it's not blending liquids. It's blending solids. And it's not just blending solids. It's solids that have different burn rates, right?
And they change year over year.
And they change constantly. So, yeah, that's the tricky part, where the science and art and craft all kind of meet in the same place. And then you get this cigar that you can keep smoking year after year, and it's still the same cigar, even though we know that the inside is not the same at all. So that's the impressive part.
No, that was what I'm telling you, that I always have a lot of respect for people that know things that I do not know, and I know that I will never be able to learn. Listen, my position or my side on this business it's more the business part of it. I'm the behind the scenes guy. I'm the guy that have to make sure to put this puzzle together for things to make sense for the consumer, for them to understand, okay, this is Villiger, and this is what we have from Nicaragua, this is what we have from Brazil, this is what we have from Dominican Republic, this is what we're trying to accomplish. We want to have some of our cigars in your personal humidor. That's really our ultimate goal. We want to make sure that some of our cigars end up in your personal humidor, in the regular rotation all day long. And that's, it's not that complicated, but my side of the business is that side of the business. I mean, my only input when it comes to the cigars is because we're around, we talk to the people, we smoke different cigars. I do smoke like 3 cigars a day. One of them has to be a cigar that is not our cigar, just to know what's going on out there and the trends of the market, to be able to identify, we need to go this route or that route, whatever.
It's like a policy that you've built for yourself.
Yes. Yeah. It's standard. 3 cigars a day. One of them has to be one that is not mine, and I go completely off the radar on whatever many cigars that I smoke.
That's why you always ask me to bring something wacky to the office. All right.
Yes, that's the reason. I'm always looking to, and especially that, because I'm assuming like any cigar smoker, you tend to smoke the same cigars over and over and stay in that safe place. When I ask for a cigar from, bring me whatever you think that I should smoke. Listen, my bias is not in the selection, so it's to be exposed to different cigars. That's the reason that I even told you that I switched from the different cigar of the month clubs, just to be exposed to different cigars. And I spent 3 months here, 6 months over there, depending on the selections, to have that, to open to options of cigars, to be smoking different things all the time.
How do you? Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, but I just wanted to say, because he said at one point there that he's not the smartest guy in the world. He's being very, very humble, because he's one of the most knowledgeable and well-read people that I've ever met in my entire life.
Absolutely. Talking about books with this guy is,
or anything.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm an average reader. The one that deserves a special place in the reading club is Mr. Terrence Riley.
Oh my God, that guy's on another level.
Yeah, that's above my pay grade.
Yeah, but you're being humble again, because I asked my friends, "Hey, what are you doing this weekend?" They could be saying, "Well, I'm doing yard work, I'm grilling, or whatever." You ask Rene this, and he's like, "Well, I'm going to learn German this weekend."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I already no. Here's the thing: it's not that I'm going to learn German this weekend. It's that I already learned French,
right?
And now I want to learn French at an academic level,
right? I want to get a master's in world history while I'm at it.
Yeah, what are you talking about? I thought that the idea was just to be able to speak it when I go to the restaurant
and order croissants
and
in a nice way.
Croissant with the right accent. No, you want to learn it at an academic level, and that's the part that takes you.
Yeah.
No, listen, I really enjoy studying. I told you once, when I was younger, I wanted to be a historian, but there was no money to be made over there. So I decided, okay, let me study engineer. And now I'm going back to, let's say, my roots of history. So I went back to the university.
It's more of a passion.
Yes, it's more of a passion to study world history. And man, you get into some rabbit holes when you're studying history that it could drive you a little bit insane, because you get into a subject and it's like you go there and then you find like why this and why that and how this end up happening like this. And like they say in history, the history is written by the people that won the wars. Mm-hmm. So there is a couple of versions out there of the different chapters of our history. So is that I decided to learn the academic level of French. Again, during COVID, I had time to do all that kind of things.
I took
the time, and I was fortunate to find the right teacher, because this guy, besides being a French teacher, is a linguist. So this is a guy that really teach you why and how these languages are formed. So it really got me the experience of learning the languages. So as soon as, I think that I master the language, I still do, by the way. Every weekend I connect with my French teacher just to discuss a book. You're right, I read a lot, so I tend to read a book in Spanish, a book in French, and a book in English at the same time, all the time. So I get to go and discuss with the teacher about this. So I decided.
Whoa, hang on. No, tell me in French what French book you're reading right now.
Café Le Rendal. It's a collection.
No,
of,
tell me about the book in French. I want to know if I want to hear if someone say this guy's full of it. He doesn't speak French. You guys tell me.
Okay, you want me to tell you the book in English?
In French, yeah.
Le book, c'est une collection de petites histoires de la vie française, de l'art de vie française. Donc, c'est pour identifier la culture française, pour expérimenter la culture française d'une façon très intéressante, très profonde, très naturelle.
He got me. I believe it.
Nah, we need subtitles on this.
Now my next challenge is German, just because of the company. So I'm into, what is it now, like 5-6 months? Give me like a year and I'll be. Listen, it's a long-term commitment. Don't believe any of this crap that you see out there that you're going to learn language in 3 months and 3 weeks. No, it's not true. You might learn to say a few words. So I usually recommend the people, this is the process. You buy one of those online things, the Rosetta Stone, the Babel, or whatever one of those. They're all great. But this is to test if you really have the discipline to learn the language. After 3 or 6 months, it's time to move on and get a teacher, because all you're learning is repeating to say some sentences and words. But then you realize, I did it. I did it for 1 year, 1 full year, Rosetta Stone, French. Then I went to France and I realized, I understand all the words, but I don't even know how to put all this together to make a sentence out of all this. That's when I realized I need to get a teacher. This is the equivalent of you buy a Lego set and you know all the pieces and you don't know how the hell to put them together to make anything out of them. It's equivalent to that one. You need a teacher, but you test the waters by going to these little classes online at your rhythm to make sure that you will have the long-term commitment, because it will really take about a year and a half to really, to be speaking the language. It's just that I put already like 3 years in French and I love it and I just keep going with it. And now I'm trying to do the same thing with German.
Awesome. But aside from the languages, what are you, so we always, if we didn't have mics on and cameras, we would be talking about what books we're reading. So what book are you reading now?
I mean, I've read the recommendation that you gave me, Over the Edge, about the
Magellan.
Magellan. No, I was gonna switch to French because now the French is in my head. About the what is it? The trip from Magellan around the world, and amazing. I feel like I was watching a movie by reading that book.
What an amazing book, right?
It's just like full of information, history, and things that you didn't know. Sort of like you have heard, but finally you put them in the context of what's going on over there. What an amazing book.
Yeah, it's called Over the Edge of the World, Magellan's Terrifying Circumnavigation of the Globe. That's written by, is it Edge? Wait, who is that? I'm trying to find the author here so I can help you guys find it easier. Bergreen is his name, I think. Anyway, excellent book. Over the Edge of the World, Magellan's Terrifying Circumnavigation of the Globe by Lawrence Bergreen.
I'm reading now the Skin in the Game. Skin in the Game by Nassim Nicholas Taleb.
What's happening?
That's not about a circumnavigation. That's more of a circumcision.
No. Your book, I think, just started.
See, put it stop over here. I was checking on that because the name of the author is not an easy to pronounce.
Yeah, Nassim Nicholas Taleb.
No, this book is more about the. I'm gonna try to explain this.
I thought I had a good joke there. I go, this is not about the circumnavigation. This is about a circumcision.
Yeah, pretty much.
I liked where you were going. Hidden asymmetries in daily life. If your circumcision was
the right way,
was not symmetrical, it would be
You're gonna have a problem.
Asymmetry in your daily life.
You're gonna have a problem. No, listen, it's a great take about things that we experience in life and business and let's say philosophy that are not that true, and it question things in an interesting way. Short book, not a long one. Highly recommended. I'm about to finish. I have like little bit of a quarter of a book to finish to go, and but it's impressive. It's impressive what you can do, especially now that we have audiobooks, because not only you read here, you read there, but you listen to books here and there whenever you're moving around.
I use it all the time.
Sorry, honey, I can't talk. I'm in the middle of chapter 7.
You're surprised how useful that is.
Wait, honey, wait.
I'm almost done.
Wait. And you find yourself parked in front of your house waiting to finish that chapter before you get into the house.
That happens to me all the time.
I feel stupid, but yes, it happens.
You guys should be listening to the Cigar Snob podcast in front of your house.
He does. He listens to
Oh,
it
there
every
you go.
time.
He does.
We just don't put out enough of them.
No, that's the part. I'm one of the complainers. Like, listen, you need more chapters. More episodes. I've been listening to the podcast. From the beginning. I think it was a great addition to have Mr. What's the name of your guy?
Jim.
Jim Rodriguez. No.
Yeah.
That's interesting. But I'm always paying attention to the things that go completely off the radar about Ivan when he's talking. I say, like, something is about to go wrong over here.
Yeah.
So let me listen to this.
It's a train race. It's like a F1 race. You're tuning in for the accident.
Yes, pretty much.
His ad reads, his Villiger ad reads are pretty special.
Yes.
My Brazilian accent.
Yeah,
is
the
excellent.
Brazilian accent. I'm telling you,
Amazing.
We'll pay you more if you do it in German.
Hey, I used to speak German. Anyways, how's that Jack Daniels?
Oh, listen, that Jack Daniels is awesome. It's just that after he told me that it's 53, I'm trying to be more careful about it.
Yeah.
More delicate with it.
Yeah, 53.4%. That's pretty serious. And you have a healthy pour that Yami gave you.
Oh, yes, but it's good.
Yeah, no, it's excellent. So
I'm assuming this is like a limited edition, once in a year type of thing? Or
yeah,
what?
it's a special release.
Okay.
I don't know more than that. But thank you again, bro. Thank you for the visit. Thank you for the continued support of the show, for always listening, for your friendship. You're welcome here anytime.
Listen, it's fun. The next time we need to talk about Ivan and his...
Train wrecks.
Yes, pretty
Okay,
much.
sure.
No, thank you. And thank you for all the support that you guys give us at Villiger and me as a person, as a professional in the business. We've known each other for what? Maybe since the beginning of the magazine?
Probably, yeah, 17 years.
17 years. We used to be neighbors too.
Yep.
So we used to even try to fix the problems of the cigar industry in the backyard.
Late at night there in his backyard.
Howdy, neighbor.
Howdy, neighbor.
Yeah,
No,
man.
thank you so much, man. Thanks a lot. And Ivan, thank you for doing
Thank
our
you,
ads.
guys. Not hard. It's easy to stand behind great products.
I love it. You see? We have to
Look at
give the
that.
guy a raise.
Yeah. Hey, fight with that. All right, guys. Well, hey,
Thank
thanks
you.
for tuning in. And now we'll come back to the regular show.
And our thanks to Rene Castañeda, of course, from Villiger Cigars. Oh, talk about a great expression, man. This Edicion Limitada. Oh,
How are you enjoying it?
oh, you know what? It's great. It's awesome. It's everything about it. First of all, I mean, you had me at Torpedo.
I didn't know. I didn't
Yeah,
know that was
but-
your jam.
Yeah, but you can have a bad torpedo too.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
And this is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of those, one of the things that I always try to work on is not try to smoke the same thing, and I'm always, where's the torpedo? Where's the torpedo? But this just reinforces how much I love torpedoes. So kudos to Rene and kudos to Villiger for this. And of course, what thanks to Total Wine and More for the great, Jack Daniels bottles. So guys, since we're, maybe on the last third, maybe of the stick, where are we right now? We're going to start with Ivan. Where are we right now for you?
I think it's picked up a little bit in intensity. I'm getting a little bit more of a fuller strength profile at the end here, and I think it's because it's building up at the end of it, but it still has its cream, it has its wood nut, still excellent.
Yeah. I think strength wise though, it hasn't crept up.
No, but the peppers have.
But exactly. So on the flavors, as the cigars heated up, now that we're getting close to the end of it, yeah, we've lost a little bit of the sweet components that were up. Now it's just like, all right, buddy, we're going through the finish line here with just tons of earth, pepper, and like bitter dark chocolate notes, right? And maybe some espresso in there, right? Now that I haven't had a sip of whiskey for a little bit, now I can really taste that. Maybe even some molasses, like that burnt molasses kind of flavor in the background. It's a really nice cigar. So I don't want you to think that because we're talking about that transition, that's a negative. That's not. I love when cigars take you on a ride, right?
That's the idea.
Yeah, and so now we're on that like third jump, and it really a fantastic effort. If you can get your hands on one of those, it's worth a shot.
Yeah, this to me is you know, it got you on this adventure. It jumped out at you. It grabbed you. It sat you down. Then it got kind of mellow. Now it's really like a slow southern drawl kind of thing. You know, you're enjoying it.
This guy's spending a lot of time in Arkansas.
Woo pig. Yeah, little. Well, listen, we've gone through Arkansas, Tennessee,
Bill Clinton.
via Nicaragua. You know, this is one fine cigar from our folks at Villiger. All right, so as we're wrapping things up, as we're getting into the last third of this program, of this smoky treat, what did we learn today, Mr. Calvino?
So I don't know if it's a learning thing as much as it is like a confirmation. Like that, you know, these expressions of Jack Daniel's completely flip that Jack Daniel's narrative on its ear, right?
Right.
So a lot of people, if you've ever had, again, regular Jack, you've had a million times, I'm sure. It's the best-selling whiskey in the world, so I'm sure you've had it. If you've had a chance to drink the Sinatra is one that was the first whiskey from Jack Daniel's that I had that really, I went, whoa, wait a second, this is Jack Daniel's? And these do that as well, especially that bonded. If you can get your hands on that, man, try that out. It's a completely different experience from any other Jack you've ever had.
Ivan, what about you, buddy?
Besides having another option for artificial intelligence, when I go to ChatGPT, I can go to Eric here because he's given us so much shit on this episode.
Shit is right.
Oh my God, has he spewed a lot of stuff, but all very, very good stuff to know.
I appreciate that. I think
you know what happened? I was at Disney the other day, and I was on the Carousel of Progress, and Eric was at the end of it going, you know, at the
get
end,
out of here.
and the dog. Woof.
I love that. They're trying to cancel that, by the way.
They can't. They can't. You can. It's air conditioned. I always that's my nappy ride after getting out of the heat and everything. That's my nap ride. Come on.
But seriously, I'm impressed by the product line that Villiger has. You know, I mean, this is just another one of their cigars that's just blown my mind. You know, it started with the Cuellar Black Forest, the Villiger Miami, the Villiger de Brazil, and now this Villiger Nicaragua. I mean, they've all been different, kind of like the Jack Daniel's portfolio that we smoked now. They've all been different and very good.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, and for me, again, to your point, just to echo what you were saying, listen, we all had our sort of. Jack Daniel's has a reputation of being a party spirit. It's the one you drank, you know, when you were in college, you know, when you were sitting there just doing shots, the crazy things. Oh, what a night with the Jack Daniel's. But this is sort of of the grown up version of Jack Daniel, right? This is a good
way to put it.
You know, it's a great. It's a way to reintroduce yourself to an old friend who now all of a sudden maybe he's married with kids now and is more, hey, you made it, you know, you're good now.
Yeah.
Jack, what's up, buddy? Good job. And Villiger, the expression, this particular cigar, it's amazing. And they go well, so they actually go well together. You know, really all three of them. It all depends what you like and what your particular style, your mood is for that day. So what I learned is that, you know, we can grow up and still go home again.
Oh, look at this guy. Look at this guy.
Take me home.
Country road. All things go through Tennessee at the end, right?
Yep.
So good stuff. Listen, thanks as always for hanging out with us. If you like the show, you know, you give us 5 stars, write a review, always helps. Make sure to check out the YouTube channel. You guys, we're doing another unboxing, another reveal day today.
Yep. Got one coming up.
Yeah, I totally walked in on it. I was like, hey, what's up? We're taping. What? Yeah, hi. Oh, you're taping. Oh, okay. Typical. I was very Miami on that. As always, listen, we thank you because none of this is possible without you. Thanks for hanging out with us. Enjoy it. Smoky treat time, and we will see you. See you.
See you.
We'll see you next time. Cheers.
Later, y'all.
You've been listening to the Cigar Snob Podcast. Tune in next time for more nonsense and chicanery. But in the meantime, you can find previous episodes of the podcast on cigarsnob.com/podcast. Follow us at Cigar Snob Mag on all the social media platforms, and be sure to subscribe and rate this podcast on Apple Podcast. Until next time, hasta luego.